In this video, we're going to implement deleting and adding more attachments during post update. We're going to also implement downloading attachments. First of all, let's commit all the changes what we made so far. Let's open the commit dialog, and in the post controller, we implemented adding attachments to the posts. So that's the biggest thing basically. So the single commit message can be adding attachments to posts. Okay, in the store post request, we added the attachment rules, and in the post resource, we are returning now attachments as a post attachment resource. And what else we have? We have post attachment model modified. We have this post attachment resource, and we also added this size column. So there are new files as well, unversioned files in the Git, and then we have obviously the modifications. Okay, I'm gonna mark everything and let's give it the corresponding commit message. Implement uploading attachments on server side. Let's commit everything. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to start implementing editing of the post, because that's going to be the most important thing right now. What we're going to do, when I click on the edit button, we're going to display all the attachments what we have so far. In the similar way, whenever we are creating the post, and we should be able to remove the attachment and add new attachment from there. So let's close everything. Do I need any of those files open right now? I think the very first file I need, that's going to be the modal, post modal. And for now, I'm going to close everything else except the post modal. Okay. Let me think. Where is the section for the attachments? Here we go. So this is the attachment section. And right now we are iterating over attachment files and displaying them. Those are the files when we upload. Okay, but we want to display what is post attachments property. Let's have a look. I'm going to click on edit, and we see it is the following object. Okay, now I'm thinking, how should we do that? When we try to upload new files, and I'm going to upload this one, we get the preview for this. Okay, let me add another one. Now we have two files here, and those are attachment files. Okay, but we have existing files as well, and what I want to be able to delete those existing files. So I should probably start iterating over the existing files and create similar preview right here, but with some differences. And I'm thinking right now how I don't want to have duplicated code. So if I duplicate this code and start another v4 similar to what I have right here, inside there, if I duplicate everything, I will be fine and I can easily do this. But this is something I don't want. I don't want to have this layout twice. So I'm thinking this remove basically is something we need for new files as well as for existing files. What else do we have here? Okay, I'm gonna duplicate but temporarily, not permanently, and have a look what similarities we have. Okay, so I'm gonna grab that part. I can collapse this, duplicate this, then I'm gonna iterate over post.attachments. Okay, inside the remove file, we're going to pass the my file. To check if this is image or not, we are going to pass directly my file, because that my file contains mime right there. So we can pass my file. In terms of preview, we have this URL here, which is correct. And in terms of the file name, the my file directly has a name right there. Okay, almost everything seems to be identical, but first let's have a look. Okay, now we have only one image right here. I'm going to click on edit, and here's the image. It should be on the full screen probably. Yeah, we can use this part. Okay, it is on the full screen, and if I am adding right now new attachments, they will be at the top. Okay, and because we have two sections, the below section is for existing files, and this is for new files. This is on the full screen, and this is split into two parts. But as I mentioned, we have a lot of similarities into these two sections. So what I want is just to combine them together. So let me start with the following. I'm going to create a new computed property. Const computed attachments. Let's call very descriptive name. That's going to be computed property. And I plan to merge my new attachments with existing ones. So I'm going to return array, and I'm going to use file attachments or attachment files dot value, and then we're going to have post attachments. That post should be actually props post attachments. Okay, so then I can start iterating over my computed attachments. And here I can use computed attachments. However, this is something which in one case might be, let me remove the below part, and I'm going to make this very clear. Okay, this is my file. In one case, I'm going to remove this part, but I'm going to just return this back in several means. So this is an existing attachment. We see that, right? So then I upload a new attachment, and this is how my new attachment looks like. It has a file inside. This is the most differential thing. What I'm thinking right now is that maybe I can check if the file exists. That means that this is new attachment. The existing one doesn't have file inside. Okay, so I'm going to return this back, remove file. What are we going to pass here? So if my file dot file, if that exists, then we're going to pass that file. So if that exists, it means that this is a new file, just uploaded one. If that doesn't exist, we are going to pass my file here. This means that it's an existing file. In the similar way here, no, hold on. This is remove file. Remove file actually needs to work slightly differently. So in this case, I'm just going to pass file, but right here in this case is image. We are going to do like this. If the file exists, it is a new file. We're going to pass the file here. If not, then we're going to pass my file. In any case, inside is image, we're going to get an object which will have either mime or type. Okay, and we're going to test this everything right now. And right here also, if the file exists, let's do like this. Okay, if the myfile.file exists, this is a new file. If not, we're going to just get the myfile. And in any cases, we're going to have some sort of object from which we're going to take the name. Okay, then what I'm going to do is just print my file here. Okay, actually I'm printing this already. So I think everything is good. I'm just gonna remove that part. Am I printing this somewhere else? No. Let's just close. Hold on. Edit. Okay, probably we have some sort of error. Let's open developer tools. Split. Okay. Mime. Okay, that's good. Let's put a breakpoint here, and I'm just gonna hit on edit. We have some error. I'm gonna reload the page. Let's remove the breakpoint, click continue so that the page loads, then put the breakpoint back, and then I'm gonna hit the edit button. Now we get the attachment. That attachment, well, it is actually an array. Hold on, why it is an array? Probably I made some mistake here. Yes, 3 dot is missing here. We're gonna destructure this. Okay, let's remove the breakpoint, reload the entire page, and click on edit. Now we see this attachment, the existing one. I'm going to hit on attach files and choose the very first one. Now we have 2 attachments, okay? And we don't have actually any like differentiation part, which one is the new and which one is the existing one. Okay, I can put some kind of icon maybe to show that. Okay, I'm going to leave this right now. However, what I want to do now is that whenever I remove one of the files, this one or this one, then I want to actually remove this. There's also a difference. If I'm removing this one, I just need to remove this from the attachment files array and don't send it to the server side. However, if I'm removing this one, I'm going to mark this file to be deleted on the server side because this is already available on the server side. So here we have this somewhere remove file. So what I want to do is just to check if my file exists. This means that this is new file. If that exists, okay, then I'm going to remove this from this attachment files array. If that doesn't exist, I'm going to mark the existing file to be deleted. And for this, I need this form, and this form should have deleted file IDs. Okay, now let's go back. Form dot deleted file IDs. Inside there, I'm just gonna push my file dot ID. And I also want to display what is this deleted file ID, files ID. That's going to be form deleted file IDs. It's an empty array right now. If I hit close here, then I see 18. Okay, this is good. When I hit delete from there, I can remove this image completely from this array, or I'm going to mark this as deleted from the UI perspective as well. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up, and when this happens, and when I'm putting these deleted file IDs, my file ID inside here, I'm going to also mark my file dot deleted equals true. Okay, and now then down below here, this is, yeah, let's put this right here. Okay, I'm going to create one div which will have position absolute. It's going to have a left 0, bottom 0, and right 0. It's going to have padding of 2 maybe. I'm going to give it also bg black, text white, and inside there I'm just going to write text. The image will be, or just to be deleted. It's not going to be large text, to be deleted. And this will be only displayed, let's have a look in the UI first. We see this to be deleted, okay? If I choose another file, we see this to be deleted right here, and we see basically this to be deleted on every attachment, but I want to only display this whenever I'm deleting an existing file which is already available on the server side. So first of all, let's change this vertical padding into 2 and horizontal padding into 3. Okay, I also want to reduce the font size, so text SM. Okay, good. And I'm going to add the if right here, if my file deleted is true. Okay, now it is gone for both of the files. However, if I click delete right here, then I see this to be deleted on these files. And whenever the file is marked as to be deleted, let me make the preview also slightly transparent. So here, this is basically a template. This is, if it is not an image and if this is something else, it is a template. And to make this transparent, I'm going to give opacity right here. But if I give opacity, let's say 50 here, then it's going to be transparent, including everything, like this to be deleted text as well, everything. So this is not what I want. So probably I need to wrap this into div. So I'm going to change this into div and see how that changes when I upload a file which is not actually an image. So if I go in the download section and upload the very first thing. Okay, so the image is not in the center. This is what we can adjust easily. Let's put this after the else. Class flex justify center items center. We need flex call as well here. Okay, good. And in this case, I'm going to give this image and this div opacity 50. Okay. Now it is transparent. However, this text is not transparent. This close icon is not transparent. Okay. And this opacity 50 needs to be added conditionally if the image, not the image, if my file is marked as to be deleted. So we're going to use colon class. Let's actually move this on a new line. Colon class equals my file. If my file deleted is true, then we're going to add opacity 50. If not, then we are not going to add any additional class. So now let's have a look. Let's actually reload and edit. We see that this is not transparent at all. I'm going to hit on close. The image gets transparent and we see this to be deleted here. Okay. I'm just going to choose another file. That file is not transparent. When I click the close, this file is gone. It is completely removed, and this is how it should work. Okay, there is nothing wrong with that. Awesome. Let's choose another image. We see this image right here. Click on close. It's gone. Okay, and the only thing I'm going to add here is to revert the image which I marked to be deleted. So right here we have this to be deleted, and I'm going to put a revert kind of icon. So let's go to the hero icons and search for something like arrow, or maybe undo. Let's actually zoom out. Oops. Undo, maybe. Arrow. Okay, let's search for arrow. Which one is for like undo operation? I think this one. That's called arrow U-turn left. Okay, if I scroll up and include this arrow U-turn left icon, and then I'm gonna use this icon right here, and let's give it W for H4, and that's it. Okay. However, I think we need to give it display flex as well. Let's have a quick preview. Okay, yes, definitely we need to give this flex and justify between, and probably items center as well. Now this is good. This is good. However, we probably need cursor pointer. This cursor pointer class is not available, so let me search for right here pointer, or maybe let's search for cursor pointer. Am I doing something wrong? Okay, does it? Something is wrong. Okay, I think we need the index right here. It is visible but not actually clickable, this button. So this div should have some the index. Here we have 20. Maybe we need to give this one the 15. Is it available? 15? Not sure. Let's check the index. It's a 10 and 20. Okay, we can give it 10 as well. I think it's going to be fine. Now we see this cursor pointer. Okay, I'm attaching another file. Good, I like this. So now whenever we click on this, I want to undo this image deletion process basically. So I can listen to click event on this and undo delete maybe, and I'm going to pass my file. Now let's scroll up. We have this remove file, and then we have this undo delete. We get this my file, and then I'm gonna mark my file deleted equals false, and I'm gonna remove the ID from this form deleted file IDs. So what I'm gonna do is just form deleted file IDs equals form deleted file IDs filter. We're gonna have ID here, and we're gonna just filter out everything where my file.id does not equal to ID. Okay, cool. Let's close this and reopen it. This is actually marked as deleted. Why? Not sure. If I edit this, it is not marked as deleted. Okay, I click on this. We see ID right here. I undo this, and it is not marked as deleted, which is excellent. Let me actually mark this as deleted, and then I'm going to close the dialog. And then if I edit, I see that this is actually marked as deleted. What's going on? So when we reset the form, we basically set these deleted file IDs to be an empty array. However, let's search for this reset modal. However, I think we also need to mark every existing file not to be deleted. Okay, so we're going to iterate over the attachments, post attachments for each, and we have attachment. Let's call this just file. Okay, and then every file deleted flag deleted, I'm going to set this into false. So, and we need props.post. So I'm marking every file not to be deleted. Okay, cool. Let's close this and edit, and now I see that the file is not marked as deleted. And if I hit on mark as deleted, then I close the dialog and then re-edit this. Now we see that it is not marked as deleted. Okay, now the only question is that to send that file to the server side. So if I attach new file, let's go to pictures, attach this one. Now we have two pictures, and if I hit the submit button, I'm not sure if this is gonna create new file because we actually don't have the update implemented properly as far as I remember. Or do we? Wait, it just created new post. Obviously, this is not what we wanted. Okay, what request did it make? Okay, it should have made put request. Okay, I'm going to test this once again. So I'm going to click edit. By the way, I don't see this drop down here. I see here because I have some text. Okay, look at this. I don't see this drop down here. I'm going to fix this. We have probably some z index somewhere. This is a button. This one has position relative, and that's why it goes probably above the drop down. Yeah, there's we need to open post item, second one, and then we're going to find the menu. Menu items, that should be it. Or maybe the entire menu. And it has position relative as well, but probably we should give Z10. If I click on this, we see now this is above the another element. Okay, good. If I click edit, I go to the console and I attach new file and I click submit. The section is unauthorized. Inside the payload, we see ID, body, and attachments. Okay, why is this section unauthorized? Let's have a look in the database inside posts. And where is this post which is created recently? It is this post, which has empty body, but it has some attachment. I think I know why this is unauthorized, because we are actually sending the put request, and if I open post update request, it should be actually update post request. Okay, okay, this should not return unauthorized. Not unauthorized, but yeah, unauthorized. Okay, inside authorize, we get the ID of the post, right here. And we're selecting the post, which has the following ID, and the user is the auth ID. We're getting the first. Let me actually dump the post, which is selected at this stage. So if I just replace HR, in the preview we see null. Okay, why it is null? Let's go into posts, 27 ID. Okay, what is this auth ID? Let's replay XHR. This is 1. So we are basically selecting post which has ID 27 and user ID is 1. ID 27, user ID is 1. And we want to get the first one, which does not exist for some reason. I think the reason for that is that we are using where here and here as well. We need and where. Let's do like this. Post query where and another where. Okay, let's try this. Replace HR. Let's remove the user ID and just try to select this by ID. it should work. It has soft deletes. What's wrong with that? I save it, replay. This is null. Let's get this input ID. I believe that this input ID is wrong actually. This is something wrong. We should get this as a post. Actually, it's gonna be put, right? We're gonna also have keys, maybe. How I'm gonna get this? Let me first test if this input ID exists. So sometimes I just forget very simple things. Obviously, this must be wrong. Let's just pass whatever is there. So let's replay it. This is null. Exactly. That is causing the problem. This is a request. Okay. So we are gonna get something. It's gonna be post maybe. If I get the post ID, do I get my ID? I'm actually making put request here. If I replay this in the preview, I don't get this because I'm making put request again. So if I get, we have all, we have validated data. Actually, I think I have this something similar implemented in my another project. That should be, it should be Laravel file manager. I just want to check how I have done this in another place. Laravel file manager. On the application, we have HTTP requests, parent ID base request. Is this the one? This input parent ID. Okay. What are we passing? We are passing ID here. Okay, let me ask ChatGPT this part. I am submitting put request in Laravel and sending form data, which has ID inside. I want to get this ID in Laravel form custom form request class authorize method. How can I get this? This route ID. No. This route ID is something. Actually, it should be the one, isn't it? Like, we are passing this 27 here as well, so we can get this from the route ID. This route ID and this route ID, isn't it? Let's replay this XHR. No. Update post request this route ID. Are you serious? Actually, this should be probably this route post, because if we check web.php, we have this put with the post. That should be it. Post. Okay, in which case this should give us the entire post. Okay, maybe we don't even need to write this query. I'm going to comment this part, and we are going to get probably this entire post right here. So let's replay. Yes, here we get this entire post. Okay, now that makes more sense. However, I'm still curious, how can I get the ID from the form data? So I will find this out right now. Okay, this is clear. Thank you for this. But okay, I have another parameter called name. How to get that? Okay, the name is not part. The name is not part of the route. Now it is part of the form data request. The URL is correct. This input name, again, it tells me that I need to get this input name, but this input ID does not seem to be working in my case. This input ID. We get this null. This does not work in my case. Okay, if this doesn't work, ensure form data is being sent correctly. Check the request payload in the controller, and we can get this all. Actually, let's get what is request all. That's also interesting to see. There's going to be this all here. So if I just replay XHR, I get an empty array. Why do I get this empty array? I have some rules defined here. Okay, now I think I get it. I get this empty array because I don't pass body and I don't pass user ID. If I need to get the ID, I'm gonna pass this as ID to be required, right? And it should be numeric. And we can also check that the ID must exist in the database, but I think it's not important in this case. So now if we have this ID presented in the rules, and if I just replay my XHR, I really hoped I could see ID here. In the payload we get ID. That's a very strange thing. It's a form request. The request comes into post controller right here. This all does not return what it's supposed to return. Okay, now I remember something. Yes, I remember something actually. I think we need to actually send the post request, but we need to pass method to be put, something like this. Let's check the inertia.js if there is something about forms. I'm going to search for method maybe. Okay. No, I don't see this. But I have a feeling that this should be the reason. So I'm going to remember now, have a look in my Laravel Vue e-commerce. And let's go to the backend and source. The backend is actually the vue.js part. So in the source, we have store and we have actions. And I'm going to search for put, the word put. Okay, the method put. Okay, so I think we need to provide method put, but we are going to actually make the post request. So if I open now my modal, the form, okay, and before I make the request, if the form ID exists, okay, if I provide form dot underscore method equals put, but I actually make post request, I want to know what will happen in this case. So I'm going to reload my entire page. I'm going to click edit here. And I'm just going to hit submit because we're going to make the update, right? So we're making post request method not allowed. Okay, what are we sending? We don't sending put in this case. Okay, we are not sending put in this case. And probably this method needs to be described here in order to be able to send this. So method needs to be, let's provide post. Let's try this. Hit and submit. Method post. It created new post right now. It should have. Okay, let's reload the entire page. Click edit. I'm going to hit on submit. Now, that was the reason. Now we get the information right here. Again, if I remove this method, or maybe we can post this, leave this post here, but remove this put, and I'm making an actual put request. So when you are sending new file to the server, you should send a put request. You should send a post request with a method put. This is how it should be done. Okay, let's make this fully clear. So I'm making a submit right here. We're getting everything. Okay, I'm making put request normally, and I'm getting ID right here. Even probably if I go in the update post request, and if I try to get input ID, if I replay that part, I will get ID here. So this is working. However, if I now edit my form, attach new file, and hit on submit, that actually is creating new. In our case, it did not even create new because Why? Why did it do that? Probably because form ID didn't exist. I'm going to print right here what is form, entire form, so that I know whether it's coming inside if or else. And again, I need to reload the page. Okay, I'm editing this right now. I am attaching new file and I am hitting submit. Now, as you see, the ID is empty. That is what comes here. Even if I change this into all, we're gonna still have empty array here. To make this working, we need to send method put and post right here. But this is only necessary when we are sending some files. So actually the solution will be to check if I have attachment files. If I have attachment files, then I'm gonna add this method put and send post request. Otherwise I can send the put request. Or I can always send this method put and post if that's gonna always do the update. We're gonna test this, but let me reload the page. Click on edit. I'm just changing the description, okay? And I'm gonna hit on submit. So here we are sending the post with the method put, and it comes inside the update post request. So that actually does the update. So I think we are doing it correctly right now if we leave method put and this into post. Okay, if I close this and then re-edit and write something here and click on submit, I get this form which has ID null, which causes the new post to be created if we are sending the ID to be null, right? So instead of having a look at the form ID, probably we should have a look at the props post ID. And yeah, we're going to do just like this. And also sending ID inside the payload should not be required because we're going to get this from the root. So we don't need to get this like this. Now it's getting more clear, so I'm going to do the following. So we're going to have post here. That's going to be this root ID, not the ID, but the post. Okay, because we have post in the web PHP right here. So we get the post and we're going to check if post user ID does not equal to auth ID. It belongs to a different user and we're gonna return false. Otherwise we are going to return true, and I'm going to delete everything. However, we can optimize this part, I think, and we can simply do like this. If the user ID equals with the auth ID, we can return the result of that. Okay, I think that part is good. Inside the rules, we can remove ID. We don't need, okay, because we're getting the actual post which needs to be updated here. Awesome. Let's reload the entire page. I'm going to click edit. Okay, type 2 here, hit on submit, that gets updated. Now I click on edit, then I close this, and then I hit on edit again, and pay attention to this. We have lost the test2 here. Okay, why does this happen? Let's have a look in the post modal. We had watch here. So we are looking at the props post. And whenever this is changed, we're calling the following function. But once this is assigned, so once we edit, let's reload the page. once we click on edit and this is assigned and this is actually called. So when we close this dialog, this is not changed, which means that this stays, the props post stays as it is. And whenever I click on edit next time, the same thing, it doesn't get changed. Okay, why it is populated? I'm getting confused. Test2, close, edit, it's there. Let's change this to into 3, click on submit, that gets updated. I'm going to click on edit, that's there. Click on close, click on edit, this is here. Okay, let me print console log here if this is triggered. I click on edit, it is not triggered, this is the thing. If I reload the page and click on edit, this is triggered, close, edit, this is not triggered anymore, and we don't see this description here. So this is the issue. This post modal is used inside the post item, or actually it is used inside post list, I think. So if we can, actually right now we can delete this post 1 and post 2 variables. No need. So now let's have a look. So we assign this edit post, but whenever the post modal is hidden, this is the thing. Whenever this is hidden, let's emit hide event. Okay, but we need to define hide here. When this gets hidden, we need to reset this edit post to be null. So let's listen, add hide, edit post. Let's create actually a function. I was thinking to write edit post dot value equals null, but on modal hide, that's going to be the good name for the function. On modal hide, we're going to set edit post dot value equals null. Okay, this is good. Now I think we're going to have one error. If I reload this page and click on edit, this is triggered, good. As soon as I close this, this is triggered, is not called anymore. On modal hide, is this on modal hide called? Let me just print one, multiple ones from there. Click on edit, then close. I don't get this is triggered. Hide, on modal hide. Let's pass the parentheses here, however, this should not be the reason. Edit and then close. Okay, in the post modal, what happens when we click on this close? This is the thing. We set this show equals false, but we actually need close modal. Also, when we click outside, it calls close modal. Now I'm going to reload the page again. I'm going to click on edit. This is triggered. I'm going to close the modal, and now this is what I expected. We have one error, and that comes from this part, which we can easily fix. This is now happening when we reset the post value to be null. Okay, we're also listening to the props post if that got changed. Okay, and that got changed, but it was null and we could not get the ID from the null. So it's easy to fix. We are going to write if props post, if that exists, we're going to get the ID and the body. However, the ID is not necessary because we're going to always have the ID inside the URL. So I'm going to remove the ID from here. We're just going to assign the body. And if in else case, we are going to assign form body will be null or empty string. Let's click on the form and we're going to remove ID from here. We don't need this. However, when we are making the post request here, we're going to pass props post ID. Actually, we are passing this correctly, so we're good. Are we using this form.id anywhere in this file? Yes, this is the place we are using. In this case, we can just use post ID. If post ID exists, we're going to update the post. Now let's save this, everything, reload the entire page. I'm going to click on edit, then close. What just happened? Okay. Can't repurpose the find reading attachments. Post modal. Okay, I see. We also have this computed property props post attachment, in which case props post is actually null. So if the props post is null, so we can do like this: if props post exists, then we are going to return this. Otherwise, we're going to simply return attachment files value. Let's reload the entire page again. I will click on edit here, then close. We have more errors. Where is this coming from? Post. Okay, post doesn't exist. This is good. Yeah, so we are actually checking this post ID here, and we can just check if the post exists. It means that we are gonna do the update. Okay, let's reload the page again. I'm gonna click on edit, then close. We have another error. Can't read properties define reading user. This is coming from the post user header. Okay. Now, this is not the right approach. I'm going to undo this post ID here. And in the post list, we have this edit post. But when we are creating new post, what's the value for the edit post by default? It's an empty object, right? So we should assign an empty object here as well. Yes, when we hide the modal, we're going to assign an empty object. If you go in the post modal, I'm going to undo a few things and then have a look if we're going to have some errors. If the post ID, actually, that should be post ID. However, inside the watcher here, we are looking at the props post, which will always exist, speaking that we're gonna assign this as an empty object. So here, props ID will be an empty object when we close the modal. So we are gonna just check the ID of the post, or we can simply get how we are getting. So if this is an empty object, we're going to get the body, which is going to be undefined or an empty string, because we want this form body to be an empty string. Now let's have a look. Click on edit. Let's close this. We have again one error. Props post attachment is not iterable. This is coming from here, which is perfectly fine. From here, props post attachment is not iterable. What we can do is just get the props post attachments or an empty array. Reload the page, click on edit, click on close. One more error, avatar URL. Okay. Again, I'm doing something not very correct. So when I'm trying to close the dialog, when I'm trying to close the dialog, the post becomes an empty object, and the user is obviously undefined. So we are getting the post user avatar URL, which obviously gives us an error. So how we are going to solve this problem? In the post modal, one thing what we can do is that if the post user doesn't exist, we are not going to render that post user header. If the post user doesn't exist, it means that the modal is actually hidden. If the modal is hidden, then we don't need to do anything, right? This is one thing what we can do. Second is that make sure post always has user. If I open create post, inside the new post we always have this user, ID, body, and user. And this user is this auth user. In the post list, when we are resetting, we can make it like this. On modal, hide. We are resetting this. Let me get the auth user. And now the edit post will always have ID, body, and user. The ID and the body will be falseable values. However, the user will always be there. Let's have a look how many more errors we're going to have. Close. We don't have anything. Let's go here. This is triggered, is called twice. Now I click on edit and this is populated again, and this is triggered, is called close. This is triggered, and this is good to print also because this is triggered, is printed every time the post is changed. And let me actually print what is the props post when this is triggered is printed. So we have edit, this is triggered, we have an actual post here. Okay, then I close this, this is triggered, it is an empty post with ID null. Okay, then this is triggered, is called, the post is changed again, and we have this. So this seems to be correct right now. Let me update this into test 4 and hit on submit. Okay, that gets updated. Then also this is triggered, is printed, and we see that it is an empty object. Then I click on edit and we see test 4 here. I update test 5, click on submit, click on edit, it is test 5. This is good. Now let's edit this. Actually, I want first of all the one which has image inside. So I'm going to edit this and just hit on submit. We are sending method put, so this should do update. I think it did update. Edit again, test here, click on submit. This looks nicely. Okay, now, yeah, we have fixed the small issues what we had so far. If you're watching this, learning, and if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please pause the video right now, hit the subscribe button, and continue watching. So this is the best thing what you can do right now for me to support my work. Now, to get back to from where we actually started, is that we should be able to delete the images, right? I'm going to do a quick overview of what changes I made so far. Okay, this is not a big deal. In the post list, we are assigning this edit post. So we're listening to when the module is closed, and we are resetting the post, which is passed into the post modal here, and we're assigning body. We're also using post modal attachments if that's available. Yeah, I think we are doing everything correctly. Okay, so now if I click on this and upload new file and I click submit, this is the, where's the request payload? We don't see the request payload, but something happened. I hope it worked. Let's open update post request. What happens here? So the rules have been passed, and if we open post controller, we're going to find the update. We got the data, we did the update, but nothing related to the images. So update happened, but images got completely lost. So let's take care of this right now. I'm going to copy this part and put this here. Let me check. So the post is created and then everything happens. In our case, during the update, we begin the transaction, then we update the post, and then all the things can happen, such as we need the user here. So let's create user to be request user. Now we updated the post, then we got the attachments, and those are the new attachments, right? So those are new attachments. And what we are doing is just assigning new attachments and then going back. Let's try this because this should already work. No, it's not going to work because in the update post request, we don't have attachments defined. Let's copy the rules from store post request. Okay, and let's put them here. Actually, these requests are very, very similar, if not identical. The only difference is inside the authorize method. Here we are allowing everyone to create the post, and here we are only doing this if the user has permission to update the post. So I'm thinking if we can combine those two requests into single, at least, what if we do like this? We have the store post request, which has the authorized true and the rules, and this update post request, which extends from store post request, so that we don't need to define rules here because the rules are already defined in the store post request here, but we are only overriding the authorized method. This should work. Okay, we should be able to upload new attachments. So I'm going to hit on edit. I'm going to choose new file. Let's say this one, and I'm going to hit submit. Okay, it did not work. Okay, it didn't work, so now we need to figure out why. So let's just print what are the files inside the update. So let's click on edit and choose file and click on submit. Okay. Attachment 0. Okay, it is an empty. Attachment 0 method is put and we're sending post request. So this is actually strange. If we go in the update post request, this overrides the store post request, and we have the rules attachments defined. Okay, let's print what is this. Let's just print what is this, all maybe. We are gonna submit this. We see attachments. I'm just actually very surprised why this is not working as expected. What is this data? This is my mistake. This data is not available. That should be request validated. Data equals request validated. We're passing data here and we're getting attachments here. So if I hit and submit, let's go in the update and remove this and click on submit again. This worked. This worked, and we have the new attachment added here. Let's reload. We have two attachments. I'm going to hit and edit. I'm going to add one more here. Click on submit. Now we have 3 attachments. This is looking good. A small change which I'm going to make in the post attachments is that we have this created at, and I'm going to sort post attachments by created at descending. So we're going to have latest at the top. I will go in the post and we're getting attachments from here, and I'm going to provide latest. So if I actually reload this, we're going to have first this image, then this, and then this. And if I edit this and add one more image, this one, then this, and submit this, we're going to have this at the very top. So the latest image goes at the very top. Plus 0 more. This is obviously something we need to fix. Post item plus something more, right? And that something more should be if index is 3 and if the total length of the attachments is more than 4. Okay, if it's equal to 4, then we don't need this. So if I save this, we don't see this plus 0 more, which is correct. And we have implemented uploading new attachments while we are editing the post. Okay, so test2, some updated text, and adding new file. Click on submit. This looks like a charm. However, now let's take care of deleting the posts. Are we sending the IDs? I don't see what we are sending, which is not ideal. This is what I don't like inside while I'm doing this inside the Chrome. So this is why it doesn't show me the payload. This is a post. It should have some payload, right? It has payload. But because it returned with some sort of redirect, then it doesn't show me the payload. Okay, what I will do is just go into update post request. Actually, we have these rules inside the store post request, and either we need to add these deleted file IDs right here, or I need to override this rules method, which will return the parent rules, and I'm going to call array merge on this. We're going to have parent rules, every parent rule basically, plus we are adding my own rules. In this case, that's going to be deleted file IDs, which is going to be array, and each should be I'm thinking each of the elements of the array should be ID of the post attachments. Okay, we can write a rule for this, but I think it's not necessary. So we're just making sure that this is an array, and each from this array should be numeric. And if we go in the post controller, we should be getting these IDs. So deleted IDs equals data deleted file IDs. If that doesn't exist, we're going to get an empty array. And before actually taking care of the attachments, let's print what is deleted file IDs. So I'm going to edit this, and I'm just going to delete the last one, which has to be deleted. And if I hit submit, we get this ID 20. So the post attachment with ID 20 is about to be deleted. So what we can do is, okay, let me think. We actually need to delete the file from the file system as well, right? So I can do a batch delete to delete everything altogether, and then iterate over, or maybe first we need to delete from the file system, the files, and then iterate over the actual IDs and delete from the database. So there are two approaches. As always, there are multiple approaches. In this case, we have at least two approaches. One is that I can iterate over my deleted IDs, select the post, and delete this. And deleting the attachment from the file system can go inside the delete trigger delete hook on the post, deleting. A second approach is just to batch delete the posts from the database and then iterate, or let's say before we delete the posts from the database, iterate over them and delete the posts from the file system, and then delete the posts from the database. Okay, I'm thinking the best will be just to select the posts, iterate over all of them, and delete them one after another. Okay, so we're going to have attachments, not the post, but the attachments. So we're talking about deleting attachments. Attachments equals post attachment. We're going to query where post ID is the post ID, and then we're going to have where in ID is inside the deleted IDs, and we're going to simply get all. So adding this where post ID in is crucial in this, because if someone who is experienced working with the browser's developer console sends the attachment ID which belongs to another post on which I probably don't have permission, then if I comment this line out, I'm going to select that post attachment and then delete, which is not what I want. So I'm selecting only post attachments which belongs to this post. Let's say that someone sent IDs 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's say that this particular post on which I'm doing the deleting of attachments has only attachments 1, 2, and 3. Okay? When I'm going to select the attachments, the final attachments will contain only 1, 2, and 3, and the 4 will be simply neglected from this select. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So then we're going to start iterating over attachments as attachment, and then on attachment, I'm just going to call delete. However, I mentioned this, we're going to delete this file from the file system as well. And I'm just going to have a look again, one of my repositories inside which I have done something similar. And this is going to be Laravel file manager. So I'm just looking up the information just to how I would generally do if I would be developing this project for commercial purposes. Then I go into app models, and here I have this file, and let's have a look. I think I have here I have this deleted part, and we have this delete forever. Okay, basically this is the part what we probably need. So we need to override the boot method, and when the module is deleted, we need to delete this from the file system. Okay, so what I have done inside this file manager, which is a several hours tutorial which is available on Free Code Camp's YouTube channel, is that I am not actually deleting the file, I'm just marking them as deleted because I'm using soft deletes here. Okay, so that's why those are still left. However, if I'm calling delete forever, then I'm doing these delete files from storage, and I do the following part. And this is much more complex thing. And again, I'm not going to go too deep into this. I only need this part. So I will go into post attachment and maybe override boot. Let's delete this to do and paste the code which I get this. So once the module is deleted, we have this self, actually that should be, yeah, it can be self, right? Self module and storage delete module path. The module is my post attachment, and post attachment has path. So I'm deleting this from the file system as well. And I'm going to test this. Okay, so we're going to go into public. Actually, let's go into storage, app, public, and attachments. And I am going to delete, which post is this? This is the post 29, which has 5 attachments on the file system. Okay, and there will be 5 attachments in the database as well if I just filter post ID equals 29. Good. Now I'm just hitting the submit button, which does something. At least we have successful response. The attachment is gone. Let's see. From the database, it got deleted. From the file system, it did not get deleted. Why? We're going to try to figure this out. When it got deleted, then we called storage delete. Is this storage delete the correct one? I think we need this disk and then delete. That's the issue. Storage disk and then delete. Okay, let's have a look in the database and on the file system. The one that got deleted, this F8 is available, LZ is available, NS is available, VFK is available, and WI, this is not available. This got deleted. Okay, so let me delete this manually for now. I don't want extra files on my file system. And then I'm going to delete this one. So I will click on edit, remove this one, to be deleted is marked. We can actually remove this pre. So we can open post modal, and I'm going to search for pre tag. Here we have that. I'm just going to remove it. Now we are going to hit on submit. That got deleted from the file system as well, and from the database as well. Okay, and this is how we're doing it. Now I'm going to click on edit. I'm removing all of them and I'm going to hit on submit. All the posts have been removed, all the attachments have been removed. Then I'm attaching something new. Let's attach this keyboard and hit on submit. I'm editing this again. I'm going to attach 2 more files and I'm going to delete this one. So I'm doing both at the same time. I'm just going to hit on submit. It is 28. Now on the file system for 28, there are 2 files. And I think we have successfully implemented deleting attachments while we are editing the post, as well as adding new attachments during the update. Let's do everything together. Add some text, remove both, and attach something new. Click on submit. This works. Let's reload the page. This works. Now let's first of all commit everything what we made so far. We have implemented editing the post attachments. Implement editing post attachments, removing and adding new ones. Okay, good. Now I want to implement downloading attachments because we support attachment types which cannot be previewed right here. Okay. Do we support exe file? Actually, if I just choose an exe file and hit on submit. Yeah, the error handling is a different part. So we actually don't support the attachment 0 field must be a file type of, and we have a long list of file types. That's good. We need the error handling as well. But for now, I want to implement downloading an attachment because we might use these to share some documents, okay, like the Word files or exe files or something else. And someone else should be able to download those things. It's not going to be actually difficult to implement this. So let's go for it. I'm going to open this actually post item and let me close everything else. Okay, and we have this download icon, which is actually button, but I'm going to change this into anchor tag. And we need the download URL. Download URL for the attachment. Okay, what's going to be that? Let's open web.php and let's do a get route. That's going to be post/download/post. Okay, so I want to download the post. Let's use post controller download and let's give it proper name, post post.download. Let's go into post controller and we need to implement the download. Let's do this at the very bottom. Public function download. We are going to get the post. And to download this, basically, first of all, we need to check if the user has permission to download that post, right? At the moment, At the moment, we don't have these groups defined and created, so that's why we just need to allow download for everyone, but we're going to leave to do. Check if user has permission to download that attachment. And that should not be post. We are not downloading post. We are downloading attachment. So download attachment. That should be post attachment and attachment here as well. Okay, now we have this attachment, and this attachment has path, and we're going to do the download. I'm going to have a look at the Laravel's documentation and search for download. It's not there. Okay, and let me ask ChatGPT how to download file in Laravel which is saved on public disk. It should be pretty straightforward. Response, download. Okay, we get the storage path. If that file exists, we can assign some custom name to that. That's also good to know. Okay, so what we probably need to do is return download path will be attachment path. And the custom name will be attachment name. So we're going to do these checkings. Once the checkings will be completed, we're going to download the path. Now let's go in the post item, and I'm going to provide href here with route post download, and we're going to provide the attachment, which is going to be attachment. Okay, let's save this and have a look. We have some kind of error. Okay, and if I click this download, we see that at the bottom left corner of the screen, we see this URL post download 28. I'm going to click on this button, and we have this download attachment doesn't exist. That's correct. Here we go back, click on this, attachments doesn't exist. That's going to be the full path, so we should probably need storage, disk, public, and then probably call get on this. But if the attachment is too large, this get will probably throw a memory exception. Here we're calling this storage path. But what is this storage path? This is a global function. Up storage path. Okay, let's call this storage path, but does this accept any kind of disk? No, it doesn't. We have this up, public, and the file name. Storage, disk, file name, if that exists. Yeah, this is correct. However, if I just provide the attachment path, this is not going to work because it doesn't know the disk location. Okay, there should be something like absolute path or something like this. Storage disk. Absolute path. Let's search for path. Okay, how can I get the absolute path of the file from public disk? Storage disk path. This is an absolute path. Storage disk. Is there a path? Okay, the path wasn't auto-completed. Probably that's why I thought it was not existed. But if I provide this, I think it should work. Click on download. Okay, it starts downloading, and we have this original name even here. So if I click on save, then click on open, that opens right here. So here we implemented download. Okay, this is interesting. Let me actually find the exe file. Application ms download. I was thinking about allowing those type of files to be uploaded, but I think we should just try a zip file. Okay, I'm going to edit this, attach one file. Here's the zip file. This is it. We can hit on submit. That got uploaded. Reload. It is here. I'm going to click on download, and it starts downloading. And we can see this on my another screen. Okay, so the zip works. So we have implemented actually downloading attachments. If you think this playlist is worth something, you are already subscribed to the channel and you have already liked this video and you want to do something additional, maybe you can check my Patreon page. Only if you want. In the next lesson, we're going to implement Vue.js component to see attachment photos on full screen.